When we think of the distant past, a world before great cities and written words, we might imagine a diet that is alien to us. We picture rugged ancestors hunting immense beasts or foraging for strange, unfamiliar plants. Yet, the truth is rather more familiar. If we could travel back in time, long before flood stories were told, we would find a menu that is surprisingly recognizable. The fundamental tastes and textures that nourished early communities are the very same ones in our kitchen cupboards today. The story of our food is a thread connecting us to ancient predecessors. This connection is written in the earth itself. Archaeologists, like patient detectives, unearth secrets one discovery at a time. They find carbonized seeds in ancient campfire ashes. They analyze residue inside clay pots to reveal ancient ingredients. These remnants tell a vivid story. They show the grains we grind into flour, the fruits we enjoy for their sweetness, and the legumes that sustain us were cherished long ago. We are eating the legacy of our ancestors. Long before neat rows of trees were planted in organized orchards, humanity's relationship with fruit began. The sweet allure of a ripe fig, for instance, is one of the oldest temptations known to our species. Archaeological evidence from a site in the Jordan Valley suggests that figs were being cultivated over 11,000 years ago, predating the domestication of wheat, barley, legumes. These were not wild figs, but a specific, sterile variety that required human intervention to propagate. This tells us that our ancestors were already sophisticated horticulturalists, deliberately planting and tending to the trees that provided this energy-rich food. Grapes and olives, too, have ancient pedigrees that stretch back into the mists of time. In the mountainous regions of the Near East, wild grapevines were a common sight. Humans soon learned that their fruit could be eaten fresh, dried into raisins for storage, or, most transformatively, fermented into wine. The olive tree, a rugged and resilient plant, offered its own unique gift. While the fruit is intensely bitter straight from the branch, ancient peoples discovered the secret of processing olives to produce a golden, nutrient-rich oil. This oil became a cornerstone of Mediterranean life, used not only for cooking. While fruits provided welcome sweetness and nutrients, it was the cultivation of staple crops. These were the foundational foods, grains, legumes grown in vast quantities and stored for long periods, providing a reliable defense against starvation. In the Fertile Crescent, the arc of land curving through the modern-day Middle East, wheat, barley, wild grasses were gathered for millennia. Then deliberate planting began around 10,000 years ago. The transition from gathering to farming permanent settlements followed the rise of civilization. Peas, lentils. Chickpeas, a clever system. Even before science explained it, these legumes are nitrogen fixers. They enrich the soil by rotating these crops. Ancient farmers maintained fertility for generations. When eaten together, grains and legumes provide a complete protein. They fueled the builders of the first cities, temples, and pyramids. While the ancient larder was surprisingly full, it's equally fascinating to consider what was actually absent. Many vegetables we now take for granted simply didn't exist in their familiar form. Take lettuce, for example. No crisp heads of iceberg, no tender romaine leaves. The ancestor was a weedy Lactuca cereola. Ancient Egyptians cultivated it for oil from its seeds. The plant was bitter and oozed a milky sap. Lettuce as a leafy vegetable came much later. The sweet orange carrot is a modern invention. For millennia, carrots in Asia and Europe were not orange. They came in purple, yellow, white, red. They were thin, tough, and not very sweet, often used as an aromatic herb or medicine. The orange carrot was developed by Dutch growers in the 16th or 17th century, possibly as a tribute to the House of Orange. Sweet corn is also recent. Ancient maize was starchy and tough. It was ideal for grinding into flour for tortillas or polenta. The high sugar mutation was cultivated by European settlers in the 18th century. Let us now paint a picture of a simple evening meal, one that might have been eaten in the world of deep antiquity, in the time of Noah and his contemporaries. The table, maybe just a simple wooden plank or a flat stone. The centerpiece of this meal would be a hearty stew, a thick and nourishing pottage made from lentils and chickpeas, simmered slowly over a fire with wild herbs for flavor. Accompanying the stew would be bread, not a light, airy loaf, but a dense, flat bread made from freshly ground wheat cooked quickly on a hot stone. Instead, a clay jug would be filled with water, or perhaps with the freshly pressed juice of grapes, a sweet and invigorating beverage that captured the essence of the sun-drenched vineyard. A handful of dark, sticky dates, their concentrated sugar a burst of energy, would be a treasured treat. Or perhaps a few fresh figs, soft and yielding, their tiny seeds providing a delicate crunch. A bowl of thick lentil soup, a piece of whole wheat bread, the parallels are, honestly, astonishing. The meal that would have been familiar to Noah is a meal that is still familiar to us, a timeless testament to the enduring staples that have nourished humanity since the dawn of time.